the Book of Boba Fett. The biggest crime against cinema since Rian Johnson's epic Disney dumpster fire in 2017. At the time of recording this video, we are 3 episodes into this latest Disney Plus Star Wars show, and I'm checking out. I'm sorry, but I can only consume so much dog shit before I start gagging. This show isn't bad. It's fucking terrible. It's a cinematic equivalent of getting your dick caught in the zipper. It's painful to see, and even more painful to experience. Ow! Disney have taken a badass background character from the original Star Wars trilogy, whose insane popularity was inspired by his dangerous mystique, and given him his own miniseries to explain away this mystery, and in the process of doing so, they have completely broken the character. It turns out that everything we loved about this former badass bounty hunter was false, because he's actually a giant daydreaming pussy. Pussy boy!
That was a bit heavy-handed, don't you think?
So let's explore how everything went wrong. Stay tuned.
Come with me, toy fans.
In the first episode, we are introduced to Boba Fett by way of a 60-year-old Temuera Morrison lying on a sunbed having flashbacks, which quickly explain how his character got out of Tatooine's sandy vagina. And so begins the endless backstory that nobody cares about. A backstory that is still going strong into episode 3. In the story's present day setting, Boba Fett has turned his back on his bounty hunting profession, for no reason, to take up the role of Tiddy Twister's crime boss, Tatooine's crime boss, but the script has failed to explain why, and after 3 episodes and 128 minutes, we still don't know why he wants to be a crime lord.
I intend to rule with respect.
Respect? You have no respect for yourself, and I suggest in future interviews you tell people that you signed on without reading a script, because that's your only way out of this shit show. It's hard for a viewer to give a single fuck about what is happening on screen when the show's creators refuse to explain the lead character's motivations. Instead, we're shown how this pensioner-aged former bounty hunter can't even deal with a gang of Foot Clan playing a tickling game. And what dumbass screenwriter chose to ignore the fact that Boba Fett is wearing his jetpack in this scene, but didn't let him use it. In the Mandalorian Season 2 episode where Boba Fett gets his armor back, he has an early confrontation with Boba Fett 2.0, and to resolve the standoff, Boba Fett 2.0 puts down his jetpack, and fucking hot for an old lady Shan takes her sights off Green Gizmo. So near the end of the battle, when the gang of evil Iron Men kidnap Green Gizmo, the audience understands why Boba Fett 2.0 doesn't fly off in pursuit. But no such luck in the Book of Boba Fett. It seems we as an audience are not deserving of any form of story logic here. And speaking of story logic, you can see the babies of Kermit and Miss Piggy following Boba Fett and fucking hot for an old lady Shand out of the other fucking hot for an old lady's pants palace. But 1 minute they're there and then they're gone. They're gone. They're gone. They're gone. And then all of a sudden they rush in and save the day because Boba Fett lost his Zimmer frame. But where in the holy fuck did they go? It's just lazy writing, man. And speaking of lazy writing, let's get to episode 2. The first 14 minutes worth of scenes are set in the story's present day, and while they aren't anything to write home about, these scenes aren't too bad. But I can't say the same for the rest of the episode. For the next 38 minutes of runtime, Boba Fett goes budget Kevin Costner on us, in the longest flashback scene ever committed to film, which totally defeats the purpose of using a flashback sequence. A flashback is a plot device used to show the audience a glimpse into the story's past. A glimpse. 38 minutes of a 52-minute runtime is not a glimpse. It's the goddamn story. An episode 2 story was...
like a bantha.
Yeah, bantha poodoo. Then we have episode 3, which for me at least is the nail in the Disney Plus coffin. Seriously, I cancelled my subscription immediately after watching this episode, and I'm considering legal action against the Mouse House for the damage caused to my retinas. This episode features even more flashbacks, making Boba Fett's backstory longer than The Hobbit, and a convicted criminal delivering something that HasLab never could. And it's a good job that Machete dressed this Rancor in S&M gear, since Boba Fett wants to... ride him? Episode 3 also includes the most embarrassing act in the story so far, when Boba Fett recruits the Mickey Mouse Club. In one scene, Dirty Chewbacca attempts to assassinate Boba Fett at the tanning salon, But the punk Power Rangers save the day, and thank the heavens that they do, because the Titty Twister's crime boss, Tatooine's crime boss, is a giant daydreaming pussy.
Pussy boy!
The writers then blatantly rip off Back to the Future, so the Mickey Mouse Club can ride their Mos Espa Vespers in the most boring chase scene ever filmed. Seriously, when Boba Fett recruited the punk Power Rangers, I wasn't sure if he wanted to be a crime lord or an American Idol judge. We're halfway through this 6-part miniseries, and so far the showrunners have managed to turn the most dangerous bounty hunter in the galaxy into a pathetically useless joke. God only knows how they're going to recover from this one. But fair play to fucking hot old lady Shand, she's the only badass in the show. At this point, could you imagine if the Disney douchebags made a show about Chewbacca? He'd take up knitting while the Ewoks become Imperial assassins for hire. This is what we wanted in the Book of Boba Fett, but this is what we got. And Disney, I want my money back, you thieving bastards. Why can't these idiots learn from their past mistakes? Has cancel culture spread that far? Remember when they over-explained the original trilogy backstory and turned Darth Vader into a petulant child?
I don't like sand.
Well, they've done it again with the Book of Boba Fett. At this point, 61-year-old Temuera Morrison has destroyed his acting legacy.
You wanna fuck with me?
But it's not his fault. It's the writers who have turned this show into the streaming equivalent of a car crash. And while many people do enjoy a bit of rubbernecking, they don't want to pay a monthly fee for the privilege. So rather than hanging on in desperation, waiting to see if the show starts to get good, why don't you do something useful with your time and money? Like bleaching your anus. I promise you it's more fun than watching one of your favourite Star Wars characters being turned into this chick's weak bitch.